Hey y'all, we're out here. We're gonna teach y'all to, come over here now, make one of these homemade air filters for your aquarium. Great way to filter the tank with just the air input, which you're already gonna be putting air in there so the fish have aeration. And see if we can find a dirty one. Oh, I think we were saying this one was looking dirty. Oh, this is gonna be the style we're gonna make today too, down here, with ceramic rings on the bottom, and then just filter foam there for some more media. And as you can see there, they suck a lot in. They're pretty dirty. It's definitely not by any means clean as a whistle. And that's what we're gonna teach y'all how to make today. So what you're gonna need for this is a 2 liter. I don't have it pictured here, but a Dremel. You're gonna need one of those to cut a nice hole in the bottom of this. Some scissors and stuff to cut the filter foam. You're gonna need some filter foam. Doesn't matter where it comes from as long as it's filter foam. And then you're gonna need some of these ceramic rings, which these are kind of optional, but they also help the filter sink there and stay on the bottom of the aquarium. But you're gonna start out with, for one, removing the cap off this thing. Jeez, you don't need the cap anymore, and you're just gonna rinse it out. So make sure you don't kill your fish doing something stupid. And then once you rinse it all out, we're gonna take the label off, and then we'll see you in the garage when we're cutting up the bottom. Okay, so now this part's pretty important. You obviously cannot put anything in here through the top. So before we cut the bottom all up, we actually are gonna go and so you see where the bottle starts to like straighten out at? And it's all flat right about here. So you want to cut it like about, I'd say, 1.5 to 2 inches down. And you just want to cut it at that height the whole way around the bottle. And then that way they'll meet back up nice and you can get a good seal. And then what I like to do, well, sometimes you test fit them and they just fit back together really good miraculously, and it's ridiculous, like something you've never seen before. But that's not happening with that one. So if you can't get it back on nicely, nobody I think is gonna cut it perfectly flat. So see what side is the longest, and then flip it over and just give it a little notch, about, I'd say about 1.5 inches. And you're just gonna want to slide it over and open the wings over it, the 2 edges you just made, and make sure you can actually get it back together, because if you can't, you're gonna have to do some modification to it. Yeah, this one needs some modification. So you're gonna notch the bottle too then, about the same distance, about 1 inch, maybe 2 if you really need it. And then you can fold them back together and they'll meet up real nice. And then you're ready to get cutting holes in the bottom to get some water to flow through it. Okay, so next, this is where I say you're gonna need the Dremel. And I just use one of these tips. It's just a metal one with some, like, looks like a screw. I don't know what, you could use a lot of different tips though, but let me put some safety glasses. Safety first, you gotta remember that. Whew, these things don't fit anymore. And you're only putting the ceramic rings in the bottom, so you want to make sure none of the holes you're gonna make are big enough for a ring to fall out. So I'm gonna try a new design for this bottle of some slits, and we'll come back when we're done. So once you got your holes of desire cut in the bottom here, that you just got to make sure your filter rings are not gonna be able to go through that hole, so they won't fall out. And once you're ready to go with that, you'll be set to wash it out, and then we'll be cutting up the foam to put in it. So next we're going to be cutting up the foam to layer up in here in some little circular cutouts. So you're just going to lay it across the top. You could measure, but you just put it down for the width of the can there, and then you flip it this way and do the same thing and just cut it at the width of the cup that you're using, or the can. And then once you cut out that square, we're going to round up the corners on it so it fits a bit better. And then we'll be ready to go. So you're going to get some bio rings in there, the ceramic rings. Fill it up to your heart's desire. I like to put a little bit, just about enough to get it to cover up the like dimples on the bottom of the can. And then just enough so that it has some weight in it so it sits down in the aquarium nice and good. It doesn't float around and mingle about at your fish. And then you're just gonna put in these layers of foam until you fill up the bottle. And then you're just gonna make sure that you get one enough that it's high enough with foam. So this one will probably be able to jam another layer in here. So you'd have that 2 in the bottle and then be able to put a 3rd one up here just for some more media. And then maybe even cut a hole in it to jam the air hose in it. But we'll see, we'll come back when we get some more rings cut. We got a quick little pro tip here. Whenever you're washing out anything for your aquarium, I highly recommend you don't use any soap or anything like that, any cleaners, because you're probably going to leave some cleaner on there and that's going to upset your fish. It's going to throw off your pH and everything. So when you're washing and you're putting anything in your aquarium, always wash it off. Like I'm washing off those bio rings right now because they're a little dirty, but they just have a little bit of like ceramic dust on them, and I just don't want that in the aquarium. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You're good to go. So when you're cutting your filter foam for the top, for the last one you're going to be putting in the filter, I like to cut a little like hole in it, like a little indentation, so you'll have somewhere to put an air stone at. That's just so when it's in here, when you're putting it back into the aquarium, you'll be able to just stuff the air hose into the top of the bottle, and you'll be able to get it to go right in and stick right in there, and that way you won't have to worry about where it's going. It's going to stay right there. And I also like to put a little bit of that lead weight tape on it, right on the tip of the air stone, so that way it stays in the bottle, no doubt. You don't have to worry about it in case a fish nudges it or something. It's not going anywhere. So, but now you're ready to go stick it in the aquarium. So, I'll bring you over here real quick. Just have one of these laying around, but we'll just have like an air stone. You get a lot of different shapes on them, but whatever. We just use these ovular, tubular looking ones. And this is the little lead tape weight that I was talking about. And I just like putting a little bit of that on there to make sure that the hose is always, it'll make it want to stay down. And you just take it, and you can just push it into that foam a little bit. And then with the lead weight on there, you really know it's not going anywhere. If the fish nudges it or anything, it's staying in now. And then you're ready to drop it into an aquarium. Oh, it's not going to reach. But you'd be ready to go. And then you just turn your air on, and it's ready to go. And it's going to start pulling water in from the bottom where you made all your slits at. Oh, here, maybe you can watch those pebbles. Oh, you can see it. That's how good it works. You can see it sucking stuff up already. And it's going to filter through, and then it's going to come out the top with the air. Because like you're putting all these air bubbles in here, so you're making an air pocket, so the water wants to fill it. And you're pushing air out the top, so it's not going into the top, so it's going to come in the bottom in the holes you made. And that's how it pulls the water through. And the more you crank your aeration up, the more it's going to pull through. So you're ready to go. You just made yourself a DIY home filter.